Here I am seaming up the heads of stitches to the heads of stitches, and I really like how nice and neat this, again, flat seam is working for me. So let me show you how that's done. I've got my crochet hook here with a loop on it, and what I'm doing is I'm joining the crochet bound off edge of one half of my swatch with the crochet bound off edge of another half of my swatch, and I've chosen to put the two gold ends together and use my navy yarn to do this so that you can see the kind of seam that it leaves here. So if you look at the edge of your crochet cast on, you can see, or bind off, you can see that it looks a lot like a chain stitch. So to join these together and to have the chain sit on top inside this bed of chain stitches, what I'm doing is I'm taking the inside loop of that bound off edge and the inside loop of the bound off edge on the other side, and I'm joining them together. That's what it looks, this is what it looks like on the crochet hook. So I'm putting my crochet hook under the inside edge of the bound off crochet cast off, and I'm then taking my hook and I'm putting it through the inside edge of the corresponding stitch on the other side of my swatches, and my hook goes underneath to draw the yarn through both of those picked up stitches plus the stitch that's on my crochet hook. And then I do it again, so it's inside, inside, and always going from the right side towards the wrong side. Yarn over with the crochet hook and pull through everything. There's 3 loops on my hook, and I'll do it again. Inside, inside chain, always pointing towards the back. Yarn over and pull up through each of the bound off loops plus the loop that's on my crochet hook. And this creates a nice chain stitch that's kind of bordered by these outside edges of the cast off part of my swatch. And it's a nice vibrant kind of border. Imagine though if I had bound off these 2 edges with my navy blue yarn, and now I have a nice blue stripe going up through the center of my join. That would look really nice too. Or I could use the gold yarn to do this, and then it would just look like a little, almost like a little braid running up the center. And I can change colors to show you what that looks like. Got another piece of yellow here, so I'm just going to put my crochet hook through those inside loops, always the whatever one I put on top or started with first, I always start with first. And now I'm going to do this a little bit. Let me give myself a little more tail with my gold yarn so you can see what it looks like if you use the same color all the time. And this is it's pretty quick, relatively speaking, to make these joins together, and of course super easy to pull out if you want to do that afterwards too. The only kind of part that I want you to be aware of is that you have to kind of unroll the bound off edge so that you can make sure that you're going in a straight line. But you can see how once you get comfortable with it, you can go quite quickly. So now working in the gold, it just, again, I think it just looks a bit like a braid. Now, you could, if you didn't like those, kind of outline stitches there, you could go from the outside edge over to the outside edge. Let me put my loop back on my crochet hook. And this time I'm putting my hook under the edge that is, let's just say, to the outside. And then I'm going into the edge on the outside of this side, and I'm pulling through all the loops on my hook, and then again through the outside, through all the loops on my hook. And this will fold that little border so that it lays underneath the chain rather than beside it. Outside, outside, and pull through everything. Now, I don't mind this, but I kind of like the little border a little better. So the idea is, try it out and see which way you like the best. But this is one way to use a crochet hook to join your two swatches together where the heads of stitches are meeting the heads of stitches, and to create a decorative but very sturdy join where that seam needs to be.